Shall we start? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Yusuf Zarwani Omar, an assistant professor in English education at the College of Education, the University of Missouri, Columbia. I'm presenting today for the conference that's held in Benghazi on September 2nd to September 4th, 2013, in the Department of English at Faculty of Education, Benghazi. As we know that English now is the lingua franca in the world, so English now is the language of knowledge, language of sciences, and almost all countries need to speak English because this is the era of globalization. So without English, we cannot contact with other people. So learning English is a must in Libya, especially because we want to contact with other countries in the other world, so we need a language to contact with these people. As we know about the competence and performance, Noam Chomsky talked about this and said that the competence is the knowledge about the language, whereas the performance is the use of the language. So Chomsky thinks that everybody has the knowledge in the mind, but he needs or she needs the performance to use this knowledge in reality. So I think this is the problem that we have in Libya, that most of Libyan students or learners have the knowledge of English, but they find difficulties in using this knowledge in reality, namely with native English speakers. As the problem of the study, actually, I came here in January 10, 2008 to start my PhD program in English education. In this city, Columbia, there were about maybe between 100 to 150 Libyan students at that time. And they started their English program here in IEP. This is intensive English program. And they studied English in Libya for 6 years in middle and high school, and 4 years at the university. And in fact, none of these students got admission at the University of Missouri because the university requires international exams such as TOEFL, GRE, and GMAT for business majors. So most of the students actually came back to Libya to search or to find another place that doesn't require these international exams, or they move to other universities in other states where they don't require the TOEFL or GR exams. For example, there are about maybe 20 Libyan students in English education in one city, in one state in the United States, and there are about maybe 100 or 150 Libyan students in Rhoda. This is about 2 hours from Columbia. This university doesn't require TOEFL or GRE. The problem in doing TOEFL or GRE is actually because, namely the new version of TOEFL, that's IPT, this is internet. It requires that the students are good in speaking and listening, and most of the students actually cannot do these skills well, so they didn't actually have good scores, which is required by the departments here at the University of Missouri. So I think this is a problem. And this problem, as I think, is related to the methodology of teaching, or maybe the teachers of Libya that teach English there. So for the methodology of the study, I used the qualitative research method. I based on literature review. I searched about this topic in libraries or internet, and in fact there are a lot of resources about language learning and language teaching, the topic that I am interested in. Also for the primary resource of this study, I interviewed 20 Libyan students. These students are doing masters and PhD in the United States, and they used to teach English in Libya. These participants, 17 of these participants are males and 3 females. The participants actually covered almost all cities in Libya. So there were about 2 participants from Tripoli, 3 from Benghazi, 1 Misrata, 1 Sabha, 3 Homs, 2 Jdabiya, 1 Musallata, 1 Bayda, 1 Marj, 2 Ghat, 1 Sulub, 1 Shahat, and 1 from Prague. The participants, as you see, that cover cities in the west of Libya, in the east of Libya, in the south of Libya. So I can't say that I can't generalize the study because it covers almost all parts of Libya. The participant actually majors were linguistics, one curriculum instruction, 3 applied linguistics, 1 engineering, 1 dentist, 1 agriculture, 1 ESL, 4 language literacy and technology, 1 teaching and learning, 2 TESOL, 1 English as a foreign language, 1 computer, 1 medicine, and 1 translation. The data shows that 5 non-majors in English are participating in this study, and 15 majors in English or something related or close to English. For those who are doing PhDs and here in the United States, actually they got masters. 7 of them actually, or maybe 8 of them got masters from Libya, 1 master from France, and 2 from England. So we have 4 masters in translation, 1 master in mechanical engineering, 1 master in agriculture, 3 master in English, 1 master in TESOL, 1 master in medicine. What's interesting in this that the participant who has actually master in mechanical engineering and he's doing now PhD in mechanical engineering, he got his master's from France and he used to teach English. There is no relation between French and English, but I don't know why he taught English there in Libyan schools. He taught actually for 3 years in secondary schools. And the other things that I have, one, he's got actually masters in TESOL in England, and there are 2 actually doing 2 PhD in TESOL in Washington State. And when I asked them about the full name of their major, they say that teaching English as a second language, whereas TESOL means teaching English to speakers of other languages. And this is interesting, actually. They still teach English. After gathering these data from primary and secondary sources, I put my interpretation as a paradigm to get the findings and to give recommendations. As the question of the study, enough to understand the situation and position myself to make sound recommendations to the education reform in Libya. I set out to study the experiences and attitudes of Libyan English educators. The following questions guided this study. What do Libyan teachers of English report about their experience in teaching and learning English in Libya? What methods of teaching English are used in Libya? Which method or approach of teaching to be best used in Libya? So the data analysis, actually, almost all the participants were not aware of the method of teaching they were using. Actually, most of them, all of them, actually, they knew about the method when they came here to the United States, and they studied about the methods of teaching. Some participants were not specific about the method, namely those who are not majored in English. They didn't know. They just used the blackboard and they imitate other teachers. When they were students, they were teaching them this method, so they didn't know anything about methods of teaching. So simply they were just imitating other teachers. When asked about the method, I discovered that the method used of teaching English in Libya are 3, namely grammar translation method, this is the most common one, and direct method, and audiolingual method. Only 2 participants learned English in school. The participant learned English through watching TV, traveling abroad, listening to music, communicating with native English speakers, using the internet, or being abroad with their families for some time. For the aim of teaching, the participants' answers about the purpose or words of teaching English in Libya shows that none of the participants was teaching English to help Libyans to learn English. So their attitude is negative. The participants were teaching English for their own parents. Some say that we teach English just to learn English myself. Some say that to practice English in a class, and some to find a job because teaching is an easy job to find in Libya. Some just say that to cover the shortage in teachers of English in Libya. Some say that to cover the continuous absence of the teachers, of the main teachers of teaching. So some people ask some teachers to teach English even though they are not majored in English. Because of this lack of teachers of English in Libya, unqualified teachers and non-majored English teachers used to teach English in Libya. For example, MOPE, this is one of the participants from Benghazi. This is the first two letters of his name. B means Benghazi. Started teaching English when he was 17 years of age. That's he's still in high school. The reason of being selected to teach English, that's because he was in Uganda. This is an African country with his family. He spent several years there where English is used as an official language in schools. So that's because he knew a little bit about English. He used to teach English in private and public schools. As the challenges of teaching English in Libya, the biggest challenge actually related to teachers themselves. The participants say that teachers lack of training, teachers are unqualified, and teachers are not motivated to teach. They teach just to get extra money, to get a job, or just to cover shorts of teachers of English in Libya. Other summer challenges, a huge number of students in the classroom. In some classrooms, there are about 60 to 80 students, so teachers cannot practice English with other students, and they cannot give a chance to students to practice English equally. So lack of visual aids, we don't have any kind of visual aids in classrooms. Lack of English textbooks and resources, and even if the textbooks are available, so they are even too challenging to the teachers themselves or too easy, as it happened when they returned English in 1997, the secondary or high school students were taught, books were taught in the past for the middle school students. The time of the class, as 45 minutes is not enough. Some participants say that's not enough to practice the 4 language skills in one class. Number of the classes at 3 or 4 classes a week is not enough, some say. Size of that classroom, so with students of 60 or 80 students, this classroom are very small or too small, I can say. Evaluating students, the teachers evaluate students through the paper, so there's no oral skills evaluation. Lack of interrelationship between students and teachers, and this is very important because I used to teach English at the university, I used to teach English in high schools. In fact, I didn't have any interrelationship with the students, which is very important, in fact, to have a relationship with the students if they want to learn English, and they feel that they have to feel that they are fully informative and they are equal to you in learning and teaching, and this is a theory called whole language theory. The other thing is the political reasons. You know that the banning of English from 1986 till 1997. Emotional factors that's related to the relationship between teachers and some students, some teachers, they have kids in school, so and the students, they know maybe neighborhood or relatives, so they are not serious with teaching them to be good learners of English. Students' attitude is negative, students' motivation is negative. Lack of practice English inside, outside classroom, lack of participation and conferences for teachers, workshops, bookstores and publishing, lack of educational environment, students' behavior is bad. Using first language, this is Arabic in teaching English, lack of family cooperation, lack of support from the government or community. According to the above challenges, 16 participants think that Libyan teachers of English are not well qualified or trained, and sometimes both of them. Findings. because of time. So about the questions, what do Libyan teachers of English report about their experience in teaching and learning English in Libya? Libyan students cannot learn from their teachers because their teachers are not well trained or qualified or both. Libyan students complain about the proficiency of their English language teachers. Libyan teachers of English do not receive any support or training programs to improve their teaching skills or to learn about their recent practices in the field of TESOL. Libyan teachers do not have the chance to participate in professional development activities such as workshops, conferences, or publishing papers. In fact, I appreciate doing this conference in Benghazi. Libyan teachers do not have access to bookstores that have recent publications related to English as a foreign language, English novels, or software programs to support English language teaching. As for the competence performance, Libyan students are good at grammar, but they are not able to communicate properly in authentic situations. In addition to not being aware of the English culture, Libyan students lack the practice of English both inside and outside classroom. English tests assess only the literacy competence, namely writing in English, not the communicative competence. Libyan students know about English, but they don't know how to use English in reality. As the teacher-centeredness, Libyan students, even English department students, unfortunately, are passive learners of English. They sit passively, taking what's provided to them by their teachers without being involved in the process of learning. Most of the time in the classroom is dedicated to the teachers who, due to the use of grammar translation method, use Arabic in teaching English. Everything is done by the teachers who are teaching themselves, actually not their students. As the facilities, we know that classes are overcrowded and lack visual aids and technology. The textbooks are not up to date and focus on reading and writing only. As for the second question, what method of teaching English are used in Libya? The participants said that the method is grammar translation method. This method actually, it neglects the main purpose of language, which is communication. It provides no opportunities for pair and pair work. The students view the language as a reading tool and they don't develop any oral skills. The students don't have any opportunities to interact in English. Most of the time of the class is used by the teachers who use Arabic in explaining English rules. Students know about English grammar and are not able to use their grammar in communicative situations. Language overlap and mother tongue interference often happen because of the huge differences between English grammar and Arabic grammar. The process of learning, actually, grammar translation method, learning English is a mechanical process, not mental and social. Teachers teach English as a set of rules, not as a set of habits. Students are enforced to memorize vocabulary and grammar rules in isolated context. Students translate the meaning of English in Arabic and try to understand that in Arabic, which is very dangerous. Students are passive learners, not active learners. Students are receivers of English, not producers. Students focus on grammar, drills, memorization, no communicative-based activities at all. There is a big difference between English grammar and Arabic grammar, as I mentioned before. So for the motivation, students lack motivation of learning, so the students' motivation is instructional, and their attitude towards English is negative. Accordingly, students get bored in the classroom, and also teachers lack motivation to teach English. Assessment is based on students' achievement on paper, not in reality. As which method or approach of teaching to be best used in Libya, the participants suggest that the use of communicative language teaching approach. For these reasons, the first thing, it develops the learner's skills and makes them interactive and learning process. It focuses on the communication in English rather than using Arabic. It works with all 4 language skills. It motivates students to participate in class discussions. It shows teachers the students who prepare the lesson and who doesn't prepare the lesson. It encourages students to be responsible for their own learning. It shifts the focus from learning about English to learning to use English in reality. That's from process to content. It shifts the classroom from teacher-centered to student-centered. For the recommendations, we actually, after gathering the data and analyzing the data, I provide these recommendations: sending Libyan teachers of English to English-speaking countries so that they can develop their teaching skills and proficiency, reducing the number of the students so everyone will have the chance to participate in the class. Teachers can spend equal time to teach students, building the healthy educational environment between the students and the teachers so the students do not feel embarrassed or terrified, teaching grammar in conversational context rather than isolation, shifting classroom from teacher-centered to student-centered, using technology such as internet to communicate with native English speakers, encouraging students to be involved in the process of learning and teaching, encouraging teachers to communicate with other instructors and manage some time for the students to talk forth and back to each other and help each other use English, involving students in activities related to English culture, providing classrooms with visual aids, computers, and internet, sending Libyan students to English-speaking countries in summer, providing training programs to Libyan teachers of English inside and outside Libya, preparing well-trained and qualified Libyan teachers of English to replace for unqualified and non-English majored English teachers, urging inspectors to have several visits to schools to observe the process of learning and teaching in Libyan schools, applications of communicative competence to language teaching. Discussing about methods of teaching English has shown me that a method alone can never provide success in teaching English or learning English. The success of method is associated with some other interrelated factors such as the teacher's personality, students' attitudes to learning, motivation, materials, collaboration of the family and the society, textbooks, and technology. Finally, I give just the guidelines for teaching by Breathless, he says, or she says. Never translate, demonstrate, never explain, act, never make a speech, ask questions, never imitate mistakes, correct, never speak with single words, use sentences, never speak too much, make students speak much, never use the book, use your lesson plan, never jump around, follow your plan, never go too fast, keep the pace of the student, never speak too slowly, speak normally, never speak too quickly, speak naturally, never speak too loudly, speak naturally, never be impatient, take it easy. Thank you very much, Dr. Aguila, for providing me this great chance to participate in this conversation through Skype or online. Thank you for the audience for listening. If you have any questions or comments, please ask me. You can contact me through my email, that's yot33@mail.missouri.edu, or you can contact me through Skype. This is my name on Skype, Ya Zawani, and this is my email on Skype, yzahwani@yahoo.co.uk. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum.